Lowell, is Jimmy G in the playoffs similar to what Bill Walsh allegedly described about Steve DeBerg? He's good enough to lose.
I happen to believe that.
And I think the Niners believe that, which is why they spent 3 first-round picks to try to replace him.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to say one thing. I admire Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, calling him like, also Steve DeBerg is a very nice man. But I admire Jimmy, but I do happen to feel that way. I want to tell you a quickie story about Steve DeBerg.
Yeah.
Montana, when he first started, used to actually talk quite a lot. It was maybe he got burned a lot by the media. Maybe he got burned by me and Ira. I don't know. But he told me early on, now I think he likes Steve DeBerg, but he said, whenever we go out to the field, Steve is the one who grabs the ball. He has to have the ball. And,
First.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like he was in charge. And Joe absolutely told me that. And he said it with a little bit of just a shrug. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why
Because from DeBerg's perspective, it reinforced the pecking order. I'm the starter. But from Montana's perspective, it's like, dude, but I'm better than you. Like, you're not going to be. What matters is how you play, not who grabs the ball first. So just wait a second, and I'll play you, and then I'll take your job, and I'll be the greatest of all time. Yeah. I can only imagine. Yeah. Okay. What did I want to say? Oh, I wanted to say the thing with Jimmy. Like, yeah, I was a Warrior fan growing up, and when they went to the playoffs, when I was in college, I loved Baron Davis. That whole team was wonderful. They hadn't been to the playoffs in 15 years. Baron Davis ultimately wasn't good enough. If he was the best player on your team, you weren't going to win a championship. And that's kind of like Jimmy. You could admire him. I mean, he brought the Niners back from being terrible. But probably if he's your quarterback, you're probably going to fall short at some point in the playoffs. Although the ride might be fun along the way. The difference between Barron and Steph Curry is like what the Niners are trying to go to. They got Barron, and they're trying to get Steph. And I'm not saying Trey Lance is that, but that's why they're trying to give him a chance.
I love your analogy, Iggy. I think it's spot on.
Thanks. Adam Paul says I'm choosing Ayuk over Odell Beckham. That's an easy decision. Ayuk's like 23. The other one's 30. Easy. Sheridan Milestone says, happy belated birthday, Papa Cohn. Hope it was a great one. Love the content y'all make.
Thank you so much.
Moonman says, how about Debo at punt returner and kick returner? It helps better than 3. I like that. They always say, oh, you can't play your best players at kick returner, punt returner. It's too dangerous. Oh, but you play them at running back? That's not dangerous? I mean, I think it's a good way to it's a good way to make those plays dangerous, and I would do it. Relic says, do you think our new wide receiver Tajay Sharp will play? He's on the practice squad. No, I don't. Maybe if someone gets hurt. Larry Johnson says the Niners should sign Mike Hawk. Oh, he got me to say it. He got me to say it. Ezio Sanchez says Debo drops too many passes and it's not a burner. Is not a burner. What about keeping him in the same role? Maybe take some carries back, add depth with OBJ. Adding OBJ keeps him from going to a competitor. As my dad said, it wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt.
I think more of Debo than that. Debo, when he gets the ball, I'm going to say in space, that's another cliche. I always think someone running near Neptune or Mars. When he gets the ball in space, he's very hard to tackle. And I would think guys don't even want to tackle him.
It's unique. I've never seen people shy away from tackling a wide receiver like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't run around people. He runs through them like bowling pins.
Yeah. And don't forget how unique his ability is.
Right. And if you don't need him to be like the do everything number one receiver, number one running back in your offense, and he can just be the gadget player he is, he can still be the guy who wins the game for you.
Yeah.
Jason says next week, same common denominator, trade Kyle Shanahan. If they lose to the Chargers, yeah, people are going to start talking about that, but I don't expect them to lose to the Chargers. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Kyle, no pressure. Jay Talk says, does Niners trade for CMC if Trey doesn't get hurt? We'll never know. We will never know. Sorry, that's a hypothetical I can't answer.
Another thing, I'll tell you why we'll never know. They're never going to reveal it. But also, I don't have any feel for how that bunch makes decisions. Let me say this. When Bill was running the show, a lot of people think, well, he conferred with Sean McVay's grandfather, and they would decide on trades. I don't think that's true. John McVay was a lovely, lovely gentleman. I really liked him. And I think he handled contracts. And I think part of his role was to keep Bill calm. John McVay was a very calm person, and Bill was mercurial. He'd get nervous, he'd get upset. And I think John really kept his feet on the ground. But in terms of personnel and of trades they made, that was Bill. That was Bill.
Right.
I get. We don't know what happens with the Niners now. Is it Kyle? How much does he confer with John Lynch? How much power does John Lynch have? How much input does Jed York have? Iggy, I don't have the slightest idea.
I have no idea. I get the feeling that when Kyle says, I need so-and-so, we're getting so-and-so, he gets it. But I don't know when he makes those decisions. I don't know. We still don't know if he wanted Trey Lance, right? There's some people think, well, maybe he didn't want him, or maybe the way he used him proved he didn't want. Like, you can convince yourself of anything. Reef West says, sweetie, please download an audio compressor so I can listen at work. You about to get me caught up, bruh. I don't know what an audio compressor is, but I'll Google it. I've never heard those two terms back to back. I'll check it out.